you mentioned this concept specifically towards networking, like it ruins everything when somebody has an ego, right? So trying not to have one. And it just brings me back to a thought. My brother served in the military, the Army. He was an airborne medic. And, one thing I've learned, not only from him, but all of the people that he's brought to the table, his friends, et cetera, that also served, there's just like every single one of them never screams at the top of their lungs, or even quietly tells anyone, right, that I served in the military or I am in the military. They're never talking about themselves. And I think it's one of the most unbelievable things I've seen from an entire group of people, at least in my life experience, having met many military folks, that they never talk about themselves and what they're doing. And I think that comes back to this concept of, I kind of relate it to humility. I think no ego works as well. And it also reminds me of just some sayings I used to hear when I was growing up with my family. And that saying was, those who wear the suit, they don't talk about the suit. And I think that's kind of hitting home on a message you've talked about. And maybe, having been in the Marine Corps, and probably a lot of what I'm saying resonates with you, is there, there's just so much humility from this group of people that have served, including yourself. So where does this humility come from? And how does one go about practicing it a bit more?
Yeah, it's on the military side, at least in the Marine Corps, I think a lot of it is rooted in just the way that we're expected to conduct ourselves and hold ourselves, right? It's very much about mission accomplishment and being team oriented, and not being willing to do things that, if you were to ask something of someone, being willing to do those things, right? Never asking someone to do something that you're not willing to do, right? So it's very much us. It's not about me. It's not about what's in it for me, if you will, right? So I think that's just a common trait in the military in general. I know it's obviously a Marine Corps thing, just being team oriented and being about, the Marine to your left and to the right, as we say. But I've seen it also in other branches, and not just the United States. Other countries. It's a very common theme. On the personal side, for me, it's in an interesting way. It definitely comes from my background. I think, just like I said, kind of coming from nothing. I'm the oldest of five. My mom was a teenager with 15, 16 years old when I was born. My father came here from Guatemala in the early 80s, right? I come from nothing, neither graduated high school, right? Like I grew up pretty rough circumstances. And, only within the last couple of years that I really sort of feel like, wow, I've made it. You know what I mean? Like I've never felt like either I've made it, or I never felt that it's not even a sense of belonging, or that I belong, or that I was, deserving of it. But I guess when you come from that background, how easily it could all go away. You know what I mean? Like I know at any time, just how life just works in mysterious ways. Things can be taken away from me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like this philosophy of being respectful of the people that you meet on the way up, just knowing that you could also run into those same people on the way down. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's helped me. It definitely helps. I've never been one who's focused on rank, like in the military. I never really subscribed to that, like, rank equals intelligence, right? Just because I was a sergeant and you were a staff sergeant, or, a private PFC, right? Didn't necessarily mean to me rank equals intelligence. Same thing on the corporate setting, right? I think we look sometimes, like have people lockstep in these certain professional titles, and I think sometimes we kind of compartmentalize people because of that, and I never really subscribe to that. You know what I mean? I feel like personal and professional development is so much self-oriented, and I've learned so much from people that are very senior than me, and I've learned a tremendous amount from people that may not have as much life experience as me, or may not have as much professional development as I do. So I think it's that. Those two, three themes, if you will. A lot of it coming from the Marine Corps background. A lot of it's just, my upbringing, if you will.